First, I want to extend my deepest sympathies to Sarah, Han, and all of Tuan and Sarah's extended family and loved ones gathered here today. Your hurt is our hurt. Your grief is our grief. Every member of the Oakland Police Department feels the pain of your loss. And I, along with the entire department, stand before you, completely brokenhearted. To all the first responders here today, and those that stepped in to assist and show support during this critical time, I can't thank you enough. Your support means so much to the family, to me, and the members of our department. In a memorial address, President John F. Kennedy stated, "A nation reveals itself not only by the men it produces, but also by the men it honors, the men it remembers." Today, we remember the best of us, Officer Tuan Le. December 29th, 2023, a date permanently etched in our memory. A date when we heard over the radio, over the phone, or in the hallways that one of our own had been critically wounded by a heinous act. Words that all of us dread to hear, but cause us to move into action. This date will be remembered as a time when a life was cut short and a career ended too soon. A husband, a son, a family member, a friend, a police officer who had so much more to do and so much more to give. A date that not only brought mourning to a family and a department, but also a community. A date that brings us all here today to pay respect and to honor our courageous hero. But although this date is associated with the grief of loss, we need to remember and share our stories of Officer Le. Stories we shared at yesterday's ceremony. These stories, our treasured memories, will carry on his legacy. Those that knew Tuan described him as funny, loyal, responsible, hardworking, honest, full of integrity, and compassion. Compassion. All these qualities are important for a police officer, but compassion, true care and empathy for others, is a critical trait to be an effective police officer. And Officer Le personified what it was to exude a deep compassion for his law enforcement family and the community he chose to serve. But he wasn't just a compassionate and courageous police officer. He was a devoted and loving husband to his wife, Sarah, a loving son to his mother, Han, and a proud grandson to his grandfather, Mr. Le, and his grandmother, Miss Nguyen. He was a treasured part of the family and a valued friend. Tuan Le was born on June 1st, 1987 in Saigon, Vietnam. He moved to the United States at the age of 7 with his mom and settled in Oakland, California. In 2006, he graduated from Oakland High, and early on, he demonstrated a desire to serve and protect. It was in his DNA. You see, Tuan's grandfather had been a police officer in Vietnam, and Tuan vowed to become a police officer just like him. And in 2019, he applied to the Oakland Police Department and entered the 183rd Oakland Police Recruit Academy. It was a dream come true for Tuan. He completed the academy on February 21st, 2020, and although his grandfather had passed away prior to his graduation, Tuan knew he had made him proud. I happen to distinctly remember Tuan's graduation because it happened to be the first academy class I personally presided as an acting chief of police. And I'll tell you, I don't remember who was more nervous as I pinned his badge on his chest, whether it was him or me, but I distinctly recall how carefully I pinned the badge, careful not to drop it or poke him with a pin. But as I successfully pinned his badge, I remember the newly minted Oakland Police Officer Tuan and his broad smile as he beamed with pride in achieving his lifelong dream. He has such a memorable smile. From that day forward, Tuan loved being an Oakland police officer. However, with Tuan's lifelong fascination with fire, as you can see in the pyrotechnics outside, and his love of food, I'm sure at sometimes Sarah wondered why he didn't either become a chef or join the fire department. And no offense to my fire department brothers and sisters who are here, Tuan knew he was in the right profession. He had a true heart for service. His desire to better the lives of others was ingrained in his identity. It was just simply who he was as a person. After serving in patrol, Tuan transferred to our community resource officer position, which makes sense because of his desire and his commitment to helping people. In that role, he worked directly with community to improve their quality of life, enhance safety, and strengthen relationships. His tireless efforts in fostering positive relationships made a lasting impact. I received numerous calls and emails from residents on his community policing being appreciative of his service and lauding his efforts. Just recently, on December 15th, Officer Lay was one of a team of officers who received the John Grabinski Medal for his quick thinking and actions, which contributed to saving the life of another law enforcement professional who was experiencing a major heart attack. This award historically is given to members who demonstrate initiative or courage when attempting to render life-saving medical aid to another. It's in honor of Officer John Grabinski, who died in the line of duty attempting to rescue a family during the Oakland Hills fire in 1991. The award received by Officer Lay is a testament to who he is as a person and as an officer: proactive, determined, thoughtful, and courageous, a true hero. It's clear Tuan truly cared for others and consistently gave of his time and energy. He didn't do it because he had to. He did it because he wanted to. He demonstrated a sense of purpose even with the challenges of this career. And with Sarah as his support, he knew exactly what he was getting into and was willing and able to accept these challenges. You know, it takes a special person to do this job, and Tuan exemplified the distinct character and courage to do this job well. And to his mom, Han, you raised a great son, a very special person, and I know you're proud. In this moment of grief, I've reflected on the law enforcement profession, and I think that's normal in this time. With all the challenges, frustrations, and sacrifices, people often wonder, why do we do what we do? The job is difficult, it's dangerous, and oftentimes uncertain. We have talented people in law enforcement, and they can do anything else. What I know to be true is we don't do it for the fame or the fortune. There are easier ways to earn a living. But why do we do it? The long hours, the late nights, the never-ending work, constant second-guessing, the risk. The saying that many are called but few are chosen is true in this profession. But again, why do we do it? If this is how it ends, why do we answer the call? I'll tell you why we answer the call. We do it for people. We do it to serve and protect and defend those who cannot. We do it for our families. We do it for your families, so they can have a good life where they can live and thrive from the brokenness that plagues our world. We do it for the person to the left of us and to the person to the right of us who are defending and holding the line alongside us. It is who we are. It is what we do. Brothers and sisters in policing, there's nothing quite like it. This profession is not glamorous, but it's necessary for a safe and orderly society. Officer Lay knew why he did this job. He knew that people depended on him, that without him, there would be chaos in the world. It's a calling that only a few can understand. A calling that involves truly caring about the welfare of others and the greater good. I read a quote that said, "Immortality is to live your life doing good things and leaving your mark behind." Although the loss of Officer Lay leaves a void in our department and in our community, and he will be missed, his legacy of courage, compassion, service, and sacrifice, he'll be immortal. Officer Lay left his mark on our department and in our community. His kindness, his loyalty, and his smile will remain in our memories. A true hero, he'll never be forgotten. And in an age when some question the commitment and integrity of our profession, we know that Tuan did his duty, unwavering and unafraid, protecting our community and seeking justice for victims harmed by criminals. And to honor the memory of Officer Lay, we must continue to do the same, to follow his legacy of courage, compassion, and service, thereby creating a safer and more hopeful society. For everyone that knew Tuan, the time you spent with him is precious. It has created memories. I encourage everyone to lean on these memories, recalling stories of joy and laughter, love and friendship, stories that created unbreakable bonds forged with shared experiences. These memories, these stories will provide comfort in this time of despair. To the serving law enforcement members, those who answer the call, I remember a statement that the former First Lady Barbara Bush made. It's very relevant to how you live your life, and I think it applies to us, especially in law enforcement. She said that at the end of your life, you will never regret not having passed one more test, not winning one more verdict, or not closing one more deal, or in our case, making one more arrest, or signing up for one more overtime shift. However, you will regret time not spent with a spouse, a friend, a child, or a parent. So for everyone here who serve, who protect our communities from harm, before you embark on your next shift, kiss your spouse, hug your children, spend a little more time with your parents, family, and friends. If you're frustrated, try to resolve it. Never remain in anger, and make the most of the life you've been given. To my beloved members of the Oakland Police Department, as we gather here today to honor our fallen hero, I honor you for your courage, strength, and dedication to the community and to our department. Tragically, during my career, 10 of our OPD brothers, including Tuan, have made the ultimate sacrifice. Each loss has taken a piece of me, a piece of my heart, a piece of my soul that I'll never get back. But what do? We carry on. We continue to show up. Despite the pain and the hurt, because people depend on us. And I've learned over the years that we will make it through this moment because we have each other. We must lean on one another and our families now more than ever for comfort, confidence, and support. To the 183rd Academy class, I know you've built strong connections with your brother Tuan during your time together. It's a connection that only officers who share in the rigors and the triumphs of an academy class can truly appreciate. It's a connection that stands the test of time. And I know with that connection, your hearts are heavy. I know you miss him. This heinous act is horrible, it's unthinkable, and although the dangers of this profession are real and the sacrifices are significant, it's not typical. I know that you will continue forward honoring Officer Lay and his sacrifice by your actions and your service. I believe in you. Your OPD family will be here to help you and support you along the way. To Officer Lay's squad and his partner, Officer McKinney, who worked with Tuan that tragic night. Thank you for coming to Tuan's aid and being there when he needed you most. You did everything you could to help him. You carried him to the hospital on your shoulders. You are heroes. Know that Tuan loved you, and he loved being part of the CRO team. As I said the morning I met with you, I know you're hurting. Tragic, heart-wrenching. Do not even begin to describe what happened. Words cannot do this moment justice. But I asked you to trust me. To trust me that we will come together in this moment to support each other and to ensure justice for our fallen brother and his family. I continue to believe that we will come out of this moment through love. The love you have for Tuan, the love you have for his family, and the love you have for one another. To Sarah, Han, Tuan's family, thank you for sharing Tuan with us. We honor you and recognize your enduring sacrifice. We know the loss of a loved one is a tremendous burden to bear. Words cannot relieve your pain. However, my earnest hope is that as time passes, the memories and stories of Tuan bring smiles and in time will help ease the grief and tears of loss. Here today, as you look around, you will see a massive show of support. It's because Tuan is part of the OPD family and a larger law enforcement family. And to Sarah and Han, you are part of this vast network too. You are also and will always be part of our OPD family. We stand with you and we share in your grief. We will always be here for you and we will never forget you and we will never forget Tuan, the life he lived or the sacrifice he made. May you find comfort with one another and with your OPD brothers and sisters. You know, it's been said that in our sacrifice and suffering, there's glory, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance produces character, and character hope. But hope can be difficult to realize in sorrow, but rest assured, hope does exist. I see hope in the conquering of adversity, hope in humanity, hope there are courageous heroes like Tuan willing to guard, defend, and hold the line. Hope in the fact that evil will not prevail as good women and men stand ready to face it. That's the hope. That's the love. That's the glory. So finally, to Tuan, thank you, brother, for your laughter and love, your friendship and your service. Thank you for all the times you covered us and supported us, your brothers and sisters in law enforcement. Thank you for all the times you answered the call. I know this was not how it was supposed to end, but you can rest easy. You have given us hope. You've given us love. You've held the line. You are a true hero. Just know we have the watch from here. Bless Tuan, bless his family, bless the women and men of the Oakland Police Department.
Thank you, Chief. And now we'll hear a song, One Sweet Day.